thanks very much to India Unlimited and to the Indian Embassy here. I should mention I'm here for another reason also, which is that um, um, there has been a book of mine that has appeared in Swedish, translated, I hear, and it from the publisher Wallström and Widstrand, translated, I hear, brilliantly by the poet Eric Bergqvist. So I'd like him to maybe just stand up so you can see him, because he's. Thank you. Yeah. It's and so it's a kind of it's an exciting moment for a kind of handshake between Indian poetry and Swedish poetry, and I'm very grateful to that, and to Wallström and Widstrand especially for making this happen. So I'll read a couple of short poems. I won't bore you too long. This is from my current project, which works with the Sanskrit of Valmiki's Ramayana. So the Ramayana, as some of you may know, is the central epic poem in India, and the Sanskrit version is the earliest version that we have available to us. And because the gap between Sanskrit poetry and contemporary poetry in English is so great, I had to do something a little bit more than translation, which is that I had to begin with translation and then do whatever it took to make poems in English. So that's what you'll be hearing, and I read a couple of poems from that. This first one is towards the beginning of Valmiki's Ramayana, and it's a story of Ganga, the goddess Ganga, the river, and Ganga's arrival on the earth from the heavens. And because she was fearsome, she had to actually be poured through Shiva's dreadlocks to kind of break her fall. So that is this moment, and there's one other reference, which is that Sita, who's the heroine of the Ramayana, also began as the goddess of the furrow, the agricultural furrow. And I urge you all to have a look at Eric's translation in Swedish, so that you can maybe retake this, because these are poems that he has done there. So, Ganga. Fell from the blue-black of that sky, then lost in Shiva's locks for 1,000 years swelling, then bursting coil on coil, then lost once more. And when he shook with pleasure his hair in a thunderous flood, she spun towards earth, and the gods and the demons and the seers and the hapless animals, the plowman and the monk cowered in caves, saw that falling torrent shimmering in blinding, scorching, pulsing, the sheer sound, the fat black shoals of fish in it, and whole tree roots lashing in air, and the drowned, bloated blue oxen, the spinning thatch of huts, stray stone of village wall, and such black grit that with one last delayed spell, she had to leap straight up to shuck off all matter clung to her, pure and clear now in air. Then victory and consecration, dropping and drilling fresh Sita furrows into the returning soil. This is now a different scene. This is, for those of you who know this. For those of you who don't, it's not important. But Hanuman, the divine monkey general in the Ramayana, there's a point where he has to leap over the sea, and in order to do that, he has to wedge his foot against a mountain to push him off across the sea. But this is one of the kind of special, many special moments in Valmiki, is that there's a point at which the perspective turns to look at the mountain itself, and this is a long theme in Sanskrit of how civilizations come and go, everything comes and go, and the mountain is the only thing that remains. So this is called mountain. Needing something to push him across the seas, Hanuman wedged a giant foot against Mount Mahendra. The high, large boulders of that unsurpassable mountain, afflicted by our Mahatmana's fat foot, cracked and roared like musked elephants twin-mouthed under lion attack. Fine powder clouds of clay and sand and black silt, jets of water shot from stone like trills of souls released, birds broken into that yellow sky. And as the report flared down the slope in speech of timber-snapped shower, rock, pebble, ice, even the deep root entwining trees began to capitulate. Then all beings there were ground to bone dust or flung at the sky. In an instant, Hanuman had shot up and across the seas, and the mountain was a stranger again, wandering in time's wilderness. Thank you.